Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. Well, today is actually review day for the 2018 Gibson Les Paul Studio in Smokehouse Burst. No playing in this video. I do have a few videos on my channel if you want to hear this thing being played, especially in stock form, before I added all the goldification to this thing. Anyways, so I've had this thing since March 2018. And of course, new for 2018, obviously, 2018 Les Paul. And I got this on the Gibson month thing, actually. It started in April, so basically I rented it for a couple of weeks because they got it in early for me. It's like, I gotta have it, let me take it home, please. Okay, but you're gonna have to rent it. So I rented it for basically about 2 weeks, and then Gibson month rolls around, and then I just put it on the contract and financed it for 3 years because, yeah, I can't afford a $2,000 guitar in cash money, right? And so it's actually about $1,800 when I got it, Canadian dollars, okay, plus taxes. And the Gibson financing is okay. I mean, you know, they're not really making very much interest out of me, so I didn't mind financing this thing, and it made it affordable. And it also gave me the ability to nickel and dime almost $1,000 worth of gold upgrades on this thing. I didn't go top of the line parts, but I did go fairly high end, especially. So, you know, I didn't want to put cheap garbage on this thing by any means. Now, I did install a string butler because the string butlers, I swear by them. They work. They're fantastic. I can bend my G string right up to my A string and it'll still stay in tune. I've actually done some videos with testing this stuff on my channel as well, so you can check out the string butler on my channel and look it up, and you'll probably find it on this guitar and maybe a couple others as well. And it does actually make a difference. Some guys think these things look ugly. Well, get one that matches your hardware would be good, you know. Because I have gold, I went with gold. But the frets are great on this thing. The neck binding's great. You know, no headstock binding or body binding, and that's fine by me. You know, the frets are beautiful on it. They're pretty. They're basically like a jumbo type fret, or a medium jumbo, I guess you would call them. The humbuckers in this are 57 Classic and a 57 Classic Plus. Now, when I did all my modifications to this thing, I reset the heights of the pickups to identical to the factory setup, with having the black covers. These gold covers are a little different for heights, so I had to compensate that difference in the balance to make sure my heights remained the same away from the strings, so this way I could retain that same sound as what it had with the plastic, okay? Because as soon as you change anything but angles and heights of pickups, I mean, it alters your sound completely. Now, this guitar did come with 940, I think it was 942 or 946. I think it was 946. Anyways, 9 gauge strings from the factory. They suck. Throw 1046 on, you're a happy camper. I've been using the D'Addario 1046s on this thing, and I love them. They work fantastic. They last a long, long time, you know, between string changes. And I don't sweat, so I don't have to worry about strings getting rusted out on me, and I don't have a high acid content in my skin, so I don't have to worry about that either, which is kind of nice. But I do love the Smokehouse Burst. Why did I buy a Gibson Les Paul Studio, though? Well, I really like the Les Pauls. They're really nice guitars. They've just always been out of my reach until you know, Long and mcquade came to North Bay, of course, and then they start rolling around this Gibson thing once a year, and so you can get any Gibson product. Even an Epiphone is a Gibson product. So and you can go financing for, you know, like 3 years or whatever the deal happens to be at the time, and you get some pretty cool swag gear too, which is nice. You better for the amount of money you're spending. So yeah, this is my first real Gibson Les Paul, and it is going to be my last. I have no intentions of buying, well, I'm hoping to have no more intentions of buying any other electric guitars. I'm pretty much done now. I've had literally dozens and dozens of guitars in and out of this studio in the past couple of years, and you know, sometimes it's just I think I found something that's a gem, and it turns out I really don't like it in the end after all, or I need to just go fund a different project or something. But then I also had to sit down and really decide, what kind of music do I really play the most of that's me? Okay, what do I write for music? What do I need for a guitar for that, and so on. So I've dwindled everything down to the Gibson Les Paul, which does, anything I want with crunch, distortion, whatever. And it does some pretty good cleans for clean channel stuff. I really don't like the pickups for the acoustic simulator. And I've tried different acoustic sims. The one built into the Katana is actually the far superior one, without going to a physical Boss pedal version of it. And even that, these pickups, they suck with it in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Okay, I don't like it. So I bought a Gretsch guitar, and the Gretsch actually does the trick with the Katana and is beautiful for the acoustic sim. And it's pretty good on the crunch and distortion of that guitar, but when you compare the two, I am going to have a one against the other video coming up eventually, where I'll put this against the Gretsch and you can hear the different tonal ranges of the exact same settings, and then you can decide if you want to go buy a Gibson Les Paul or if you want to buy a Gretsch. Or if you just want to give your opinion too. It's kind of up to you. But I'm done with electric guitars now. This one has coil tapping pickups, so you can split the humbuckers into single coil, so you can get your Stratty tones or your Telecaster type sounds out of it as well. And of course then you got full humbucker mode. Now I do find the neck pickup very, very muddy, but I think I can solve that by just raising the height of the pickup, which when I get off my buns and do that, when I'm not so lazy, I'll mess around with that and see if I can clean that area up a bit. But otherwise the bridge pickup on this thing is fabulous. Really love it for just about anything except the acoustic sim. Neither pickup works for it. Anyways, I do like my gold upgrades, obviously. Now the pickups are still they're still the original ones with the chrome covers. To swap the chrome covers, Gibson said it's a very delicate job because of the way those pickups are made. One little boo-boo and bye-bye pickup. And a replacement set of pickups, the last time I priced them was about a year ago, and it was like over $700. And I'm like, hey, not gonna happen. You got gold ones, I just slap them in. Not in a 4-wire system for splitting, no. And it's like, well, that kind of sucks, but they do look nice against the gold. So I'm actually quite happy in the end either way, just having that as the only chrome piece left on here, because they do look good with the gold. And in the right lighting, they kind of look goldish, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. I love the frets. I love the super low action on this guitar. It is really, really nice. I've had guitars with much, much lower action that I love too. But for Gibson, this is like, optimal. This is wonderful for the action. It's very, very low and works quite well without buzzing. What I don't like, other than the acoustic sim part with the pickups, is I really don't like the nitro sideos finish. This is, I think, my first guitar I've ever had with a nitro finish, and yeah, it's going to be the last one too, because I bought what was supposed to be a nitro-friendly hanger for this thing, and I don't know how well you're going to see that on camera, but it's been chunky monked here and on this side as well, in this area too, just by being on the hanger. And it doesn't come off the hanger that often, so it's not like on and off all the time kind of deal, and that's pretty bad, because see, the problem with nitro is it doesn't cure 100%, or let's just say it cures, but it doesn't cure hard. It cures more of a softer texture to it. So even leaving a guitar with a nitro finish, no matter what brand, in even a guitar stand for long term is actually a bad idea, because wherever that neck is resting against, and even the body down below, especially all that weight, it's going to start making impressions over time into the neck and into the body that you're not going to really like, and there's no getting that out. Not without stripping it down and refinishing the guitar, and that's extremely expensive. So yeah, pick your battles. Hang it on the wall, leave it in the case, one of the two. I don't recommend cases because they do dry guitars out really bad, so I just leave mine on the wall, and my whole house is climate controlled for heat and humidity, so I don't have to worry about anything going bad with my guitars. Anyways, otherwise I do really love the guitar. I think it's fantastic. It is money well worth spent. I have not played this guitar as much as I should have, considering the money, but I've spent, more money on a Taylor 314 that in the end I actually didn't, turned out I didn't like that guitar after getting the 114, which was less than half the money. But at the same time, I couldn't afford to keep the 314. Though it was a nice guitar, it was one of those things where there's got to be something more to my preference. And when I tried out a 114, I was like shocked, and then I put it against the 314, and it's like, this thing's like way better than the 314. It's like less than half the money. I'm buying it. And it came home, and it's been home ever since. So when it came to the Gibson thing, I didn't have a lot of Gibson choices that I liked. Okay, 2018 was the year that Gibson decided to make everything left or right-handed. Okay, everything. And so I had a plethora of choices. It's like anything, it's like, but I want a Les Paul. And when I saw the Smokehouse Burst, I was like, that's pretty sexy. And the coloration, it's a Kevy guitar. It's, the guitar has to be something that's a you thing, that you like the appeal of, right? And out of all the different finishes they had in Les Pauls even, none of them compared to this, And I didn't even know how much of this wood grain would pop, because the thing with this is they had a right-handed one in stock, and I got the manager to play it for me because, of course, he plays right-handed, and at the time I really sucked bad right-handed. I'm much better now. I can play both ways. But at the time, and I tried it a little bit with the Katana amp as well, and which was good because I had a Katana at home. So it's like, well, I get a pretty good observational hearing of these pickups and the guitar, and I thought, okay, well, that's good. I like the sound. And the finish on theirs, not so much of this wood grain actually popped through. It was so much more darkened. And so it's like, well, I hope mine comes in a little bit brighter. Because Gibson hand sprays this black on, right? So there's no two guitars from Gibson that are ever exactly alike. They can't replicate that. That's the thing, right? And that's good because it makes every single guitar one of a kind, especially in the finish. But when this one came in, all of our eyes in the stores went, oh, and it's like, oh, that is so sick. The camera guys does not do the finish on this thing justice, okay? I mean, seriously. This thing is sick. And so much of the wood grain pops through, which is really nice, and it still has that darkened, I call it a barny color, like a barn type aged color, and it's kind of like what I like. So, but yeah. Otherwise, I'm very happy with the guitar. Nothing's perfect either. Let's face it, nothing's perfect. But I don't like chrome, and I didn't like the plastic pickup cover, or the knobs. Didn't like those in plastic, and the one knob didn't even last for too many rounds of the switch pull, and it came off anyway. So it's like, what's the point? Let's put some quality hardware on this guitar. And at the same time, I went with gold because I wanted gold, because gold looks proper on this guitar. This guitar looks ugly with chrome, in my opinion. If you go check out my unboxing and demo of this guitar, you get to see that thing completely factory stock. Totally different setup in the studio, by the way. Okay, and yeah, it's kind of, I don't like the chrome. It just doesn't look right on this color. Chrome does look good on some guitars. Don't get me wrong. My Gretsch, it's got chrome, and it's staying chrome. Why? Because it has a silver face on it. If they would have kept the same color on the top as the rest of the guitar, then yeah, it'd be having gold slapped onto it. But, that's just me. But with the silver, I'm okay with it. And in some lightings, the metal flakes in the paint on that Gretsch, it kind of gives it a bluish color. And actually, our bass player came into church a few weeks back when I brought that to church, and he thought the whole front end was white. And he was like, wow, that's nice. I'm like, yeah, pretty nice silver, eh? Silver? Look, white. So the flakes actually can play tricks on your eyeballs in the lighting, which is kind of cool. But as far as the Gibson goes, though, I'm happy with it. I think it's a fantastic guitar. Now, they have jumped up in price in Canada by about $100, so now they're about $1,900 to buy instead of $18. And that's fine. Our dollar changes, prices change, right? But they're still a wonderful, wonderful guitar. But my advice too is, if you're going to buy any guitar, go into a shop and then this way you get to play on the thing. You know, that's the big thing. And no two guitars are the same, so I always, you know, if I find one on the wall and that's what I like, that's what I take home with me. Or I'll ask if there's one in the back in a box, and then get them to bring it out. We'll unpack it, we'll check it over, make sure everything's good. I'll plug it in, and if I like it, then okay, then that one will come home with me instead of something that somebody else has played a few dozen times probably. This one was never played by anybody, and so it had to be ordered right in. But that's okay. It's a fantastic guitar. So if you want a star rating on this thing, I'm at a real good solid 4 out of 5. As far as I'm concerned, the neck pickup is kind of, you know, it sucks with an acoustic sim. So if you're thinking about an acoustic sim, for me it sucks. You might want to try it out for yourself and see if you like the way the sound is out of this with an acoustic sim. I personally do not like it, so for that reason it gets a ding. And of course, nothing is actually perfect in life. And if you do want the better tuning stability, you do have to spend money on a string butler. And the string butlers are worth the money. They are not a gimmick. There are a lot of things out there for tuning stability fixes that are gimmicks, including robo-tuners, which are garbage. This thing is actually, you know, one of your best resolves, and it works. You know, it does what it's supposed to do. But if you think it looks ugly and you don't want one, fine, you go and do your own thing with however you want to, you know, goop up your nut full of nut sauce and graphite, make things look ugly and slimy. That's up to you. I'd rather have something that still looks very nice and, of course, is 100% functional all the time. That's just my opinion. Okay, we all have our opinions, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, but anyways, that's where I'm at with this guitar. I will have a versus video between this and the Gretsch, and you'll be able to hear them both with the acoustic simulator as well at that point, because I'm going to do distortion, crunch, blues effects, straight out clean from the amp, and of course the acoustic simulator will mess around with that a little bit. There will be no coil splitting of pickups, okay, because the Gretsch doesn't have them. They're humbuckers, and we got to keep it fair, so we're not going to split the coils on the Gibby. Maybe we'll do a straight out regular demo video at some time where I'll go through splitting the pickups, and we'll go through different effects, because that's more likely video that, you know, because if I would have added that into this video, we would be going at well over 40 minutes, and right now we're just topping out towards 18 minutes, and that is what we have for today. So thank you so much for hanging out, for checking out my review on the 2018 Gibson Les Paul Studio in Smokehouse Burst. If you want to buy one, Long McQuade, either online or in store, but take my advice, go in store and play one first, you know, and plug it into an amp that is the same as yours at home, or at least close enough, because your amp will make a difference in your sound big time with pickups too. So see ya.